This is the Bay Area's news station. KRON 4 News starts now with a developing story.
Our developing story at 5 o'clock, the growing wildfire in Northern California's Lake County. Hundreds of firefighters are on the fire lines tonight. Here are the latest numbers on that fire. 2 large fires have combined into one. CAL FIRE is now calling it the Y fire. It has burned 5,000 acres so far and is only 25% contained tonight. So far, 2 buildings have been destroyed. 1 other has been damaged. 480 homes are threatened right now, and 2 people have been injured. Joining me now on the phone to give us more information and the very latest details, Daniel Berlant from CAL FIRE. Daniel, we know this is a busy time for you. Thank you for joining us. Give us an update, just an overview update of where things are right now.
Well, we've continued to see a lot of fire activity, especially on the Walker fire, which is the fire that's more towards the east. That fire continues to burn. Fortunately, there's not a lot of homes in the area. On the Y fire, which is the fire closest to Clear Lake Oaks, firefighters have done a great job the past 24 hours at keeping that fire away from those homes. As you mentioned, we did have 3 structures that were destroyed, but hundreds of others were saved. Okay,
now you are calling them both. You've combined them to call them both the Y fire. Is that right?
That is correct. Operationally, because the fires are so close together, we are running them as one incident. They are 2 separate fires, though. They have not burned together. There's miles in between the 2 of them, but we are running them as one incident at a combined acreage over 5,000 acres.
So, of course, shortly we'll be heading into the dark hours where it's more difficult to fight these blazes. Describe the terrain that the firefighters are dealing with.
Well, it's very hot out here. It's triple digits throughout Lake County today. That's definitely hampering our efforts. Conditions are extremely dry. The area is relatively... There's a lot of grass, a lot of brush. All of that is what's fueling this fire. We really haven't seen a lot of rain in months, and even the rain we got this year was significantly less than normal, and it's that reason that the conditions are so dry and that fires are able to burn so actively as they have been.
So again, you feel that you're having your most vulnerable, firefighters are most vulnerable with which of the 2 then, the Walker or the Y fire?
The Y fire closest to Clear Lake Oaks had the most potential just because there were so many homes that were immediately threatened by this fire. The last time we worked very closely with the Sheriff's Department, the Highway Patrol, to get nearly 500 residents out of harm's way. Those evacuations remain in place this evening. The good news today is that the fire around those homes has really died down significantly. We haven't seen many flare-ups around the homes. Most of the activity occurring in other parts of the fire. Really some good work done by our firefighters.
Daniel, thank you so much for your information. We will stay in touch with you throughout our newscast this evening. Again, Daniel Berlant with the CAL FIRE giving us an update on the Walker and Y fires, which they are now calling the Y fire. And again, still a very threatening situation in the area, but they are feeling to have a better handle than earlier today. Let's check in now with KRON 4's J.R. Stone. He also has details from Lake County.
In the distance behind me, you can see some of the black charred hillside. This is just some of the more than 5,000 acres that have already burned here in Lake County. I want to go straight to the video because in it you can see just how bad it is. You can see flames shooting into the air from these hillsides, and it's not just up on the hillside, but in certain spots it's near the roadway. You can see how close I was to these flames as I drove by. Now, firefighters, there's more than 400 of them out here, and they're not only fighting this fire from the ground, they're also fighting this fire from up in the air. When I arrived this afternoon, I could see these helicopters coming down and scooping this water out of some of the nearby ponds and then going over the hills and then dumping it on the fire to try and contain this fire. More than 5,000 acres are burning, 25% contained. Now, they have been doing all sorts of things to fight this fire. They've been putting fire on fire, as they say, basically burning some areas so that when the fire hits those areas, it completely stops. Now, at this point, the fire is still a good distance from those 500 homes. However, the evacuations are still in place. You'll see more pictures and more video from out here in Lake County at 5:30. Reporting in Lake County, J.R. Stone, KRON 4 News.
And our team coverage of the wildfire continues now with KRON 4's Charles Clifford. He shows us exactly where this wildfire is burning.
The wildfire, which actually now includes 2 separate fires, is burning about 85 miles to the north of San Francisco and 3 miles to the east of Clear Lake. Let's go ahead and take a look at a Google Earth map of the area. The fire started on Sunday, and we don't yet have a detailed map of the burn zone, but we do know that there are flames on the north and south sides of Highway 20, east of the intersection with Highway 53. And as of Monday afternoon, the fire had consumed 5,000 acres and is only 25% contained. This blaze is threatening 480 homes. 2 buildings have already been lost. Most of the structures in danger are in the communities of Spring Valley and Long Valley, which sit to the north of the fire. Those areas have been evacuated, and CHP has also closed down Highway 20 between Highway 53 and Highway 16 to the east. Now, the wildfire also includes a second wildfire called the Walker Fire, which is burning here near the border between Lake and Colusa counties. This fire is also threatening a nearby nudist resort called Wilbur Springs, which sits here just to the northeast. Finally, people who have been evacuated from their homes because of these fires are being sent to the town of Clear Lake, which is to the south. CAL FIRE and the Red Cross have set up an evacuation center at the Senior Center, which is located here along Bower Lane in Clear Lake. Originally, people were being sent to a Moose Lodge on Highway 20, but they are now being sent to this Senior Center in Clear Lake. In San Francisco, Charles Clifford, KRON 4 News.
At least 25 people are being sheltered by the Red Cross at the Clear Lake Senior Center. You heard Charles mention that. We spoke to one family of 4. They were evacuated just past 11 o'clock on Sunday night, and they say it was a very scary experience.
Well, we heard sirens, and we were kind of wondering what's going on, and we go outside and we see the smoke. But we didn't think much of it, so we went back inside, and then we heard the sirens again, and this guy was driving up and down the road, sirens, you know, mandatory evacuation. There's a fire, you know, and you need to grab your close belongings, and you need to evacuate the property. And so as we were driving, I was seeing the flames, the homes turn, you know, burnt down to the ground, and it was horrible. It was scary, and you know, there was ashes flying everywhere, you know, pieces of wood from trees, you know, in the road. Luckily, we were behind 5 fire trucks. It was very scary, and there was homes burnt down, so we were thinking to ourselves, you know, hopefully the families got out in time before it was too late, and all we could think about is getting out of there because of our family. Luckily, my children were asleep, so I didn't want them to freak out on me. So it was a very scary experience. I just hope I don't go through it again.
CAL FIRE is currently trying to assess how many people need to get back into their homes for critical items such as medications. If the need is great enough, they're going to try and set up a shuttle to take residents back to their homes so they can grab whatever essentials they can.